when you know the stakes are going to be high. Draft those key messages for each audience, identify those key concerns, written FAQ, and identify key influencers. One of the things that, another fun story, basically we're announcing, about 6 months before I left, big org change before the CEO I just mentioned. And night before, CTO decides to resign. Oh, wow. Okay, it's a little different. So we get together actually up until like 2 a.m, actually write down exactly what's happening with all the engineering directors, PM directors, making sure that folks totally get it and are locked and ready to go into that next day. So when you're going through change with your team, are you really aligned and making sure that's written down in there? Practice. Simulate real people. And one of the best advice when you're going through change, you're trying to bring your team through it, is actually simulating what different people are going to say. And do that on the different extremes, right? So going to Dublin, knowing certain folks, testing there, oh yeah, this change makes a ton of sense, to I'm going to fucking kill you. All of those things, and making sure you have those reactions simulated and practice through it. So when you're actually working and telling people, it's actually pretty smooth, right? Because you've simulated all of the different states that person is going to be in. When you do that, actually talking to your team, it goes pretty smoothly because you're actually already completely prepared for what's going to happen there. And finally, deliver. Now, delivery, often when you're talking to your team about change, delivery has less to do with the actual talk itself, right? It has less to do even with your body language in that talk. It has a lot more to do with what you do when you walk out of that room, right? So you're leading your team through a change. Do you go huddle with a couple other execs, or you go get together with a couple other colleagues in a closed room and people are wondering what's going on? Do you walk around the halls kind of, what's going to happen? Or do you have a loose, relaxed attitude for your team? Your sprint plannings are smooth, you're laughing, you're having a good time. Because people don't usually pick up, they're usually blanking out when the change is being announced. It's really those subtle interactions in the hallway, in the kitchen, that really make the difference when you're trying to bring your team through change. And so the real part is people are watching you. They're actually not listening to you, they're actually watching you. And that's much more important than what you're actually saying on a day-to-day basis. So that's something to really think about. Next is teach it. What I mean by teach it is going through change and actually helping people understand different tools to handle change. So what did Udemy, and the learning company, so we like to build some learning into what we're doing. Actually, and I'm happy to send to anybody who's curious, a whole series of articles, Udemy courses and the like, about how to think about change, how to process change. And then once you do that, you're building in a culture where people are, okay, yeah, this is a lot, but I kind of understand it. I have this tool to rely on. So circle of concern, circle of control, all those things are great techniques for everybody to live and to adopt in how they think about their own work and their own life. So live it. It's actually something as you go through change and your teams go through change. Love to use some lines. My favorite is the plan until it isn't, right? It helps people just, going through a change. We might have another change, another reorg in 3 months, but what are you going to do? You have two options. You can either think about what's going to happen in 3 months, or you can do work. What do you prefer to do? More fun to actually go ship stuff and build stuff than to worry about what's going to happen. So the plan is the plan until it isn't. That's all you know. We'll figure it out, right? You create that culture as you live that culture and being constantly ready for change. It's always in team meetings. We'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. And just building that culture of we'll figure it out, we'll find a way, we'll work through this is really nice, particularly in high times of uncertainty. You actually don't know what's going to happen. You can control with your attitude towards figuring out and kind of rolling with it. And then finally, I do love this when going through a reorg or something's happening and maybe changing strategic direction or product direction. Favorite line to talk to people, and if you have an engineering partner who's maybe upset about it, like, did you like everything about your current job? Everything? 100%? No, you would change absolutely nothing? Does anybody feel that way? So usually it's a useful line to just talk people through. Oh yeah, it's changed, but wait a minute, you didn't like everything about your current job, so isn't this an opportunity to maybe like something more? You know what? You know what's going to happen. The plan is the plan until it isn't. So, and we all know, probably some change in 6, 12 months. So we'll put the dice back in, we'll roll it out. We'll see what happens. But the best thing you can do right now, do great work, and good things will happen. And trust in that. So if you do that, it won't always be orderly. It won't always feel kind of that perfect product talk where everything works just perfectly. But usually people adjust to change, and you're able to communicate that, you're able to deal with it, and you actually be able to move through these different situations in a more unified and hopefully more fun way. With that, would love to answer any questions that folks